Hey guys, Jess here with your look at the week in entertainment. It's time for some wood. Today, the Assassin's Creed movie moves forward. We get the scoop on Marvel's cinematic future, The Punisher finds a new home, and The Dark Knight rises sooner than expected. All that plus this weekend's new releases and our latest giveaway. Ubisoft's plans to bring Assassin's Creed to the big screen may actually be happening. Variety reports that Sony Pictures is in final negotiations to adapt and distribute the project. If the deal goes through, Ubisoft will still have creative control over the 3D film. But if it's anything like Sony's Uncharted adaptation, we're going to be waiting for a while. And you may have heard that the Avengers stormed New York Comic-Con last weekend. The cast showed up at the IGN Theater and wowed the crowd with new footage. And IGN caught up with Marvel president Kevin Feige to get the scoop on what's coming after Avengers.
We have started working on the bones and the structure and the threading for a phase 2. It does start with Iron Man 3 and, if it all works, which we hope it does, culminates in another Avengers film.
For more on Marvel's plans, including Doctor Strange, the Inhumans, and the new Avengers, head on over to IGN Movies. Then there's The Punisher. After 3 kinda lame movies, Frank Castle is moving to the small screen. Variety reports that Fox has picked up an hour-long procedural pilot from Criminal Minds showrunner Ed Bernero. The show depicts Castle as a New York City cop whose alter ego is the title vigilante, seeking justice for those failed by the court system. So it's basically Law & Order, but with headshots. And just so DC doesn't feel left out, let's talk Dark Knight Rises. Slash Film reports that a 6-minute IMAX prologue for the Bat movie is coming. It'll be attached to Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol this December. This reminds us of the stunt that Warner Brothers pulled for The Dark Knight when they ran the Joker's bank heist scene with I Am Legend. While Johnny English is getting reborn this weekend, Paranormal Activity's prequel gets a prequel of its own with the 3rd film in the horror series.
We thought it would be really fun to make a cinema verite movie that takes place in the 80s, a little bit as an homage to Poltergeist, and just because the 80s, is a fun decade that we all grew up in. And also this is where the haunting really began for Katie and Christy.
And Resident Evil director Paul W.S. Anderson and MILLA JOVOVICH take a turn at a classic with the Three Musketeers.
I love the fact that Paul took this classic tale and retold it in such a modern fashion to be able to make everything believable, to make the costumes authentic, to use these World Heritage monumental locations and shoot it in 3D this way.
Now it's time for our giveaway. Today we have the 2011 UFC Ultimate Fight Collection on DVD. This awesome anthology set features 170 fights over 50 hours and 20 discs. You can get it at Best Buy on November 8th and everywhere else starting December 6th. For your chance to win a copy courtesy of Anchor Bay, email us and tell us who your favorite UFC fighter is. We'll randomly select the winner. And that's your Weekly Wood. I'm Jessica Chobot. Make sure you like the Wood and don't forget to get all of your trailers, news, and gossip right here at IGN.com.